Okay, good afternoon. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Okay, where are we? It is the 22nd of the year. I can't believe we'll be in September in just over a week. Unbelievable. So we got a new discount, as you probably have noticed. Let me have a look. I'll talk more about it in a bit anyway, but I have changed it. So it's 80% off everything. And the interesting part is the lifetime fee is $85. Now, it's only on till I believe Monday or Tuesday. Let me have a look. It's on until the 27th, which is, okay, market is open. It's on till Tuesday. It finishes Tuesday. But 80% off and $85 for the lifetime license. The 150, the 250, the 300 are all $50 and $85 for the lifetime license, and the $85 fee for the lifetime license just for those three accounts is extended until the 25th of September, but just for the 150, 250 and 300. But I'll mention it again later. So we have got some news coming up. Excuse me a second. Very nice. So my daughter's just sending me photos. Not a very flattering one of me. Okay, let's see how we get on today anyway. So, channel with a break, new high. Now, whether this is continuing up, we've got a new high. We had a break, sort of two pushes to a new high, and we're continuing on up, possibly. So, probably extend that, something like that, maybe. As I say, we have got some news coming up. We did have some news. I've tried everything I can to get this thing on, and I can't. This news thing. 1 minute it'll stay, the next minute it'll disappear. I've got the other two news things on, but they're not seem to be showing any news. So I don't know whether it's my system. So I don't know whether to. There is something that you can reset this. It keeps all your original things, but I think it just updates everything. Sometimes Ninja Trader can get a little bit corrupt, I believe. Let's have a look at this. Is this pushing up? I think there's possibly a channel here. Let's have a look. Quite possibly. There's only a first entry there. And in all fairness, if this is a channel, we could come down to the bottom there, and we're a bit of a distance away from the top. So I'd expect this big bullish bar here on the NQ to get stopped out and quite possibly have a break. Whether it will or not remains to be seen, but it looks like it is. So, yeah, the discounts I have got here, I did put a quick video out, and I did, due to a number of requests in the server, try reloading. Yeah, I saw your comment earlier, Jan, and downloaded the one from NinjaScript. I downloaded it about 15-20 minutes ago. It's called, but it's not providing any news. Let's see, it begins with N, I think. N for news, funnily enough. There we go, that one there. I downloaded it from the Ninja website. So, high and medium, high only. I think you can put US on it, but I'm doing that. Okay, it didn't do nothing earlier. Let me just get rid of that background. Right, it's only showing medium for some reason. It didn't look right earlier. Oh, now I've changed that to blue. It's not showing anything. It is the same fix for both. I have checked the source code. Try reloading NinjaScript. We just have to do that, don't we? Reload NinjaScript. It's not seem to be doing anything. It's showing no news. I know we got news, and we've had some for some reason. It's not working on mine. Whether mine's sometimes, I believe, from using it in the past, NinjaScript can get a little bit corrupt. Reload NinjaScript. Yeah, it's not seem to be doing anything for some reason. Whether I'm doing something wrong or not, who knows? So I've just popped into Forex Factory this morning, and there's a couple of amounts of news in about 10, 11 minutes. So once that's done and dusted, that's it for today. But I might, I can't remember how to do it now. You kind of reset this, it updates everything and sort something out here. Since you've already done a lot of requests, Max, we usually work when you restart it, yeah. There is a way of refreshing NinjaTrader. I can't remember how to do it. I've done it about 2 or 3 times over the 3 odd years I've been using it. Whenever I've had a problem, I've messaged NinjaTrader and they've usually sorted me out. So this is interesting. If you check the log main window tab, let me have a look. Log. It's just put load news error for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why it's saying that. Just coming up, load news error. I'm not sure. I'm better with hardware than software. All this code scares me, but I can put a computer together without any great difficulty, but it's okay. I'm not too bothered about it at the moment. I'll get rid of that. Well, I'll leave it on there for now, but I know we've got news coming up in about this. 2 lots of news. So, okay, so we got this channel up here. We got a leg and a push-up only to the EMA, so that would not interest me. My only slight concern about trading penguin style on the NQ is even at one contract, the risk can be high. I took a risk a couple of days ago and it was $700. So I'm not sure about this NQ. I've ummed and ahed about trading it in the past, so that's interesting. So we've got 2 legs round and a push up above that EMA. So I'm not trading this anyway at the moment. I'm having to think about what to do about this. But 2 legs up, sorry, 2 legs down and a push up. So I think it would likely push up, not by what I'm seeing here. Let's have a look. See, I much prefer these legs when they're a little bit more sideways as opposed to down. Sort of more this. And then off in that direction. Well, probably a little bit lower there. I don't know, something like that. More sideways, whereas this is down, although it does look like it's working. Yeah, I prefer more 2 legs at roughly at the same level. That trade I took yesterday, that was roughly at the same level there. This is quite a bit down, isn't it, on the NQ, but you see what I mean about this? It's kind of sideways, isn't it? That's what I like about this, and that worked nice. So I do prefer more of a sideways move, 2 legs, rather than that, because that to me, it's either going to trap some longs, trap some shorts and push up, or it's going to come down. It's hard to say, but I wouldn't want to be in this long at the moment. So it is about noticing how obviously the price works. Yeah, this is going to take anything out, I think. So maybe this is at a break. I don't know. I mean, we've got a channel here and a break and a new high, so technically it's already played out anyway. Where there is, but I'm kind of not bothered at the moment because we've got this news coming up in 6 minutes. So I'm staying out of any trade anyway. So. So just for now, I'm just going to remove that unless it continues on up, because there's a channel there with a break, 2 pushes up to a new high, a little bit sideways. So whether we're going to have a couple of attempts and come back, but as I say, news is up in a minute. So See, that is 2 legs, but this is quite down, whereas I prefer that leg a little bit higher. Same again, market opened here, so very little volume. I mean, really, apart from this, we've just got 2 legs or a leg and 3/4, and that is it. Which is surprising. I'm assuming there are other parts in the world that trade during the night. Obviously, you've got the Asian session, but I'm assuming it's primarily traded from the US, hence, you know, when people in the US are in bed at night, the volume gets low. But, you know, you think maybe the Far East, Australia, China, Singapore, you know, all those places over in the Far East, you think they'd be trading it, but it just doesn't quite have the volume until sort of the US time sort of kicks in. I mean, we are trading the 2000 tick chart, so each one of these are 2000 trades, so it's quite a bit. I'm sure if you go down to the minute chart, then obviously there'll be a lot more. But you really can't trade the 2000 tick chart overnight. You've really got to reduce it in some form. You'll be up. It's like watching paint dry otherwise. And be a bar about every 30 minutes, something ridiculous like that. So yeah, I wasn't surprised. In fact, I did an evaluation. I will say, guys, if you're trading something on the news, if you're trading an evaluation on the news and you want to pass it quick, you probably know this, but I sort of wasn't really aware of it. It's so much easier to pass it on the NQ. You need a lot less of a movement. In some cases, that green bar there, from top to bottom, trading 10 contracts will give you $3,000 profit, whereas it's a lot more. So, for instance, let me just give a small little move like that. So let's change that to. I'm not trading there anyway because of the news coming up. So there's $400 there. So let's bring that to about $300. Let's say about there. $300, one contract. If you traded 10 contracts, that is all the move you need to pass if you wanted. So that bar there, if you took that there, you'd have passed that there. Obviously on here, it's a lot bigger move. So I'd say it's double the size. Let's just change this to currency. So it's actually not as much as I thought, but yeah, it's probably, I don't know, double what a bar is there. So it's a lot quicker. So if you got a news event or something like that and we get a spike and it pulls back a little bit before it pushes up again, it's easy to pass it on this. So I did one earlier. I took one earlier and passed it. I think this was yesterday, sorry. I passed it on one bar. I think it was it towards the end of the day where we had that push up and that formed. And I think I jumped in there, and by the time that bar was ended, it passed. And I was all ready to come on this morning and pay $140 for a lifetime fee, and I had that little pop-up on my phone with a video from Daryl Martin saying it was only now going to cost me $85, so that was quite pleasing this morning. So, yeah, we got a good discount this time. I think by the sounds of things, they're starting to push those larger accounts. So at the moment, it's it's 80% off across the board, and all the evaluations 80% off, and the lifetime fee across the whole board, is $85, which is a steal, really. But the special is the $150, $250, and $300. Each of those evaluations are $50 each, and there is an $85 lifetime fee. Now, it takes a little longer to pass those, so they've extended the lifetime $85 until the 15th of September, whereas generally the 80% off all the evaluations finishes on Tuesday. So They just give you a little bit extra time if you want to have a go at those. If you want to have a go at those larger accounts. So news is pending in about a minute. There's 2 lots of news and they're all finished. There we go. Not a great deal, to be fair. Yeah, lots of people are mentioning that Max. I wonder if Max, somebody must have mentioned to him by now. It's unusual. I've had it for 3 years now and it's been working a treat. It's never let me down. So that's done now. We're not going to see much. So a leg up, a couple of pushes up to a new high, and we retested the highs again. So very little volume, isn't it? Very little. I mean, considering the market's open, it's gone a little bit of sideways for the new, well, leading up to the news, but who knows? So I'm not looking for a failed breakout here because that could be a range top. I generally don't take them anywhere as a rule. I prefer a breakout pullback. But as I say, I'm more moving towards Penguin now. It's a bit clearer, I think. No trading fee tomorrow. I'm away for the day with the family. We're having a day out in Chester. So yeah, these do look like range tops to me. This looks like it's on its way down. Okay, leg and a leg. I'm going to drop in that there because in fact, that kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern, doesn't it? Shoulder, head, shoulder. So if we can get two legs up, that might not be a bad short. Let's see. There's our first leg up. Good morning to you. Question about Apex rules on news. Is this no open orders 1 minute before the news? No, I think you can trade the news. Put it this one on evaluations, you can trade the news. I've done it a dozen times. I believe you can trade the news as long as it's part of your only 1 minute. No, with an evaluation, well, put it this way. I traded the news half a dozen times on an evaluation and it's passed and I've had no problem getting a PA account. But for PAs, someone else might correct me here, but I'm pretty sure you can as long as it's part of your normal strategy. And they may ask you to. So personally, I would avoid it. Obviously, as we know, news can move so quick and it can devastate your account. I accidentally traded through the news once. I was on an evaluation. I had a 2-point stop and it went through it that quick. It turned it into a 5-point stop. So I believe you can do it as long as it's part of your normal strategy. But failing that on a PA account, I'd probably avoid it personally. But I'm pretty sure that is the most up-to-date information we've got. I don't think they'd like it, but if it is part of your strategy, then I believe it's okay. So, shoulder, head, shoulder, are we now coming down? If this did come down bearish, that would be a second entry short, but that to me looks like it's trying to push high unless it's trying to retest the bottom of this, which wouldn't be a bad thing. So if that does finish bearish, I think the safer option would be to look for the lower high. That's positive. It is like a shoulder, a head and a shoulder. I wouldn't take this first one anyway, just in case it triggers you and pushes up. There is a possibility that there is a larger channel there. The trouble is, if there is, we've already had a new high, so 2 legs back going higher again, I would think would possibly unlikely, but you just never know, do you? So let's just plot this up here. So this is starting for me to look like a possible range. Whether there's a channel there, a wider channel, I mean, there's certainly that, a little micro channel with a break in a new low, so that's probably a safer bet. That we certainly have got leg, break, leg, and a strong push off that. I put that line in there, and obviously we've hit this multiple times, so I'd say there's a chance we're in a range. So yeah, no trading for me tomorrow. I'll be away for the day. Okay, so see if we can get 2 legs here. I think it would be likely to try and test these highs. Whether it is a range. If it is a range, then yeah, you're probably expected to get higher, but trouble is when there is low volume, it's hard to build up a picture, isn't it? Because you just don't get enough price action. Kind of looks like 2 legs up, that does to me. I think I might have just tried this. Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's exactly 2 legs up, a leg and a leg. Look at that. You don't look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. So I'll be surprised now if it does get any higher. I think we've had a push up there and this thing's just, it's just giving up. So yeah, interesting. A leg and a leg. So, I wonder whether I noticed that Apex did a new. They did, yeah. I am switching to Tradeovate with Apex now. I got to say, I like Tradeovate with. There's a thing I don't quite understand. I've only ever really, up until recently, used Rhythmic, and whenever we get problems with Rhythmic, occasionally you'll hear we get problems with Tradeovate. Now, if you've used Tradeovate on NinjaTrader, when you open Rhythmic, you have your Rhythmic, you click Rhythmic open and it's there. You can see everything. Whereas with Tradeovate, you go onto the Tradeovate website, you sign in there and then you shut it all down. So you don't have, you don't have anything sort of visual like with Rhythmic. I mean, Rhythmic, I've got this thing here. If I can move the damn thing, yeah, I've got this. All information at my fingertips, but you kind of don't get that with Tradeovate. But what I will say is my Rhythmic takes about 30 seconds to open. If Tradeovate, it's opening 2 seconds. So it does just seem a bit more straightforward with Tradeovate. I don't know. I don't quite understand how you have one open but not the other one. Would like another Rhythmic connection. Yeah, I've tried that. Signing into one Rhythmic, and then you got to kind of sign out to it and re-sign into another one or set it up, which takes a few minutes, and it's a bit of a pain in the arse. You've got to go into configure and change. You can't seem to have two at the same time. You've got to add it, you've got to go in and you've got to configure it, you've got to put your username, your password in, and click a few other buttons, and then open it. It's a bit long-winded. It's a pain. But yeah, I get the idea with Tradeovate. It's much easier, much quicker. My only slight issue I have is if something goes wrong, what do we do? If something goes wrong with Rhythmic, I know what to do. I've got everything on my chart. I can just try and shut this down, and but I don't know quite how it works with Tradeovate. Each trader owns Tradeovate. I have heard that. Just be careful with Top Step Tradeovate. Does it not work with Ninja Trader 8? Interesting. Yeah, I did hear a while ago that Ninja Trader own Tradeovate. So I wonder now, we've had this measured leg up there, and you can see how many times it's hit that measured leg beautifully. I do wonder whether this is maybe starting to look like the start of a downtrend. It's a bit early, but I love that. It kind of looked like two legs anyway, didn't it? And when I put those, I mean, I've made sure they're accurate, and it fits beautifully. So we had this big leg up, leg back. So we could. I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to these lows. It's hard to say, but there's always a possibility. There's a bit of a range going on, so I'm on the fence at the moment till we break below there. But that's certainly a possibility that we're in a channel moving down. But the reason I think that is because of these two legs are played out, so I think there's maybe some downward stuff. So, but that's just, call it an educated guess. So, leg down, leg down. Let's get down to this area first. But we didn't get up there. We got 3/4 of the way up and then turned back. So I think because that measured leg's played out, it struggled to go any higher. So I won't be surprised if this thing rushes straight past that bottom, but who knows? So if there is a channel, how far could it go? So leg and a leg. I think I tried a top step one a while back actually on Rhythmic. Maybe a couple of months ago. I can't remember now. I've tried a few of them. Was it top step? I think it was. And that's where I thought it's a pain having to swap everything over. That's probably why, yeah. I do like Tradeovate when I'm already using Rhythmic. They kind of work together quite well. Penguin, I wonder where he'd been. Okay, let's see what happens here. See if this bounces. If it does, then I think there's a good chance that there, but it could come straight down. Obviously, there's a possibility of these look like range stops anyway, so there is a possibility of just a sideways day. But yeah, it kind of is a head and shoulders there, and we've got a shoulder, head, slightly higher shoulder than that. But sometimes these things are a bit wonky, but it is coming down. So. Okay, that's a bit lower than I expected. Okay, it's trying to hold there. If it pushes down and closes any lower than this, then I'll take that off. It looks like it's trying to. This is going to push down, I think. Small break there. It is bouncing off the open. Who was I talking to? Somebody a couple of days ago. Saying this thing could come down some more. Is it Mac who mentioned it? When you look on the daily, we've had a massive amount of upward movement. Is I mean, look at that. That's almost uninterrupted there, that is. I mean, there's strong moves up like this, and there's that strong push. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, nearly 500 points. Well, yeah, over 500 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 500 points. I mean, that is about as straight up as you can get. Look, we've had no real pullbacks at all there. We've pushed up. We've gone a little bit sideways before the EMA. We've gone a little bit sideways after the EMA, but it's still moving. That's really strong, that is. You would think we've got to have a bit of a pullback. The quicker these things go up, the quicker they can come down. But maybe there is a little break here. Will we get to all-time highs, or will we have a drop of 100 points back to that EMA? I wouldn't be surprised. That's the first little bit of red we've had. A little push up, so it's hard to say. Would you want to buy here? I wouldn't. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing does come down towards that EMA. Interesting though. Did Mac mention it the other day? I think he might have done. I think he had some good feedback about that video he made, so I'm pleased with that. It's nice to hear him talk about points, going for more points. I've never, ever heard him veer away from scalping a point. We've been talking about it. Well, I've certainly been talking about it way over a year that I think you've got to. And really, yesterday or the day before, whenever it was the first time that I've heard him say, if you're only scalping, if you're only trading a contract or a couple of contracts, you just can't go for a point. The maths doesn't work. It clearly doesn't. Okay, so channel down, break new low. I've been going for 2 points for a year and a half, I think, something like that now. I think I could count in the year and a half I've been going for 2 points. Good trades, genuine setups, I can count on one hand how many times they haven't gone for 2 points. Or they've only gone for a point and not two, rather. There may be something larger there. To add an extra stop loss. Tick to a target. Use ATR. He's still scouting for 4 ticks. Yeah, if you look at some of his older videos, he used a couple of ticks. I mean, we've all been stopped out by a tick, and it's gone in the direction we anticipated. I mean, I quite often add an extra tick, but I find now it doesn't make much of a difference. If it's going to tick you out, it'll go up. If it's going to stop you out, often if you are trapped, it'll push up more than a tick because it'll hit a few stops. So I think I'm stopping doing it now because, you know, all these ticks add up. You know, if it's, you know, if one in 6 or 7 trades, it's taking you out for a tick and then moving in the direction you thought it would, then it's worth doing. But I don't think it is anymore. There was a time I did it and it saved you quite a few times, but it just doesn't anymore. So I think, in all fairness, the best thing to do is just put your stop where your stop goes and just leave it there. Target should be 8. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I go for 2 anyway. For me, and I mean this, I've looked at people's charts, I've looked at Mac's chart. Very, very few trades will go for a point and not 2 points. It's well into the 90%. And if you're going for 2 points instead of a point, you're doubling your money. So every 3 trades, you could effectively afford to lose a trade. Now, we're not talking 30% here, we're talking about 95% here. So for me, it's an absolute no-brainer. Okay, channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. So I'm looking, leg and a leg. I'm looking for 2 legs. I'm just going to get an order ready.
Submitted.
We have got space down to the bottom. Does look like there's a bigger channel there. I usually like taking them closer. But it's clearly 2 legs up. Let's see how it forms, whether I take it or not. Now that could be a bearish bar on some charts, but I'm sitting tight anyway at the moment. Leg and a leg. I'd like to go up a little bit closer to it anyway. So we've clearly got 2 legs. We need to get up here and then get a really strong bearish bar. If we do, we'll have a go at that. Channel brake new low. 2 attempts to push up. We've got to get above here though, really. Do I think this is worth it? I don't think it's that bad, actually. It's 12 ticks, isn't it? It's just a little bit too far from me. I'm going to sit tight here. There's something I don't like about this. I'll tell you something now that'll trap traders for sure. If it looks like it's pushing up, when it triggers you like that for a tick or two and starts to backtrack, I'll be concerned there. It may just push down. Sometimes it pulls a bit back and drops. What's the NQ look like? That NQ looks a bit better, but it hasn't triggered. Trouble is, we've got a leg with a brake and a new low on the NQ, so this thing could go up, or it could come up and retest this sort of area. See what happens if it stops that out. As I say, it may work. That looks to me like it's sucking in shorts. Sometimes it'll do that, give you a little bar like that, start to make you think it's going down on the second bar, and then turn. If you didn't get in straight away on that bar, you may be inclined to get in there. So it gives you one crack of the whip, goes up, comes down, finishes bearish, and people might think, oh, I'm jumping in. I see it all the time, and then the third bar pushes up and stops them out. I'm not saying it will, but it's something I do see, so I'm just staying out of this at the moment. If anything, it's going a bit sideways. But it does look like it's attempting to suck in shorts. Yeah, it is working, but it's just, I'm not a massive fan of it. So I could adjust that slightly, and I think it would just fit as much. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that pushes up some more. So you'd have squeezed 2 points there. Yeah, that is just a bit too far from that EMA for comfort there. I prefer to push it above and then drop down below. Then I think you would have a chance of coming lower then, but breakout, pull back, trap in some longs there maybe. You could say that's a triple test. Definitely looks like a triple test on the NQ. 2 legs up, lower, high. That's probably a bit better, but we're very close to the lows already. And it's 13 ticks already. It ain't finished yet. So I'm just sitting tight here. I am. It's just a bit congested for me. We're close to the lows anyway. We've already made not quite a matching low, but so channel with a break. 1 attempt to go lower. 2nd attempt to go lower. This could push up from here. It's kind of a triple test there. Be a tighter channel with an overshoot. Yeah, it's possible. Channel break, new low. 2 further attempts. I think this is likely to go up. How far, I don't know, but I think I'd expect it to break above this area here. Channel break, new low. 2 attempts to push lower. Who knows? It's sideways anyway, so that means it could go anywhere really, but I'd say there's certainly going to be more shorts trapped in here than longs. Okay, excuse me, just for 1 minute, I'm just going to grab a quick bottle of water. Okay. I thought that might happen. So channel break, new low. 2 further attempts to fade. Strong push up for the email. I think that's likely to go up. Or it could be 2 legs up and then down. See, if you extend that out to include that, we could have 2 legs up. This thing could still come down. There's still plenty of space. So it depends how you have that channel. It kind of fits both ways. If you put it there, tight against that bar there, and then bring it down there ever so slightly to the bar there, touch, and touch. So it could be that might not necessarily be the break and 2 pushes. That could be the break. So it depends here. This could come down. Or it could trap shorts and push up. It could be a breakout, pull back, and then it could end up pushing up. So it's a bit... I'm a bit on the fence here. So it really does depend on how you got that channel. Yeah, that 10,000 tick chart looks like that's coming down. There's a big bullish bar, looks like it's trapped there, so that to me looks like it's going to rush below there and make a new low. We'll see. Shame there wasn't a slightly better bar there. But yeah, leg and leg. So that to me now really just looks like that first break. So we got a break, push below the EMA. There wasn't really a signal bar there anyway, and then down to a new low. So I'd say for me personally, that looks like it's within there, within that channel. If you've got a better bar there, might not be a terrible place for a trade. I know. So like someone took it, a couple of people took it on Thomas Wade's. Well, one certainly did. Two did. Oh, yeah. See, on Thomas's forum, someone got a lower high there, didn't get filled. He took that. His bar wasn't that bad. It was at the same height as the second bar. There was almost a little bit of a gap at mine. There's a little bit of a gap of a tick or so there, but could be a leg and leg. It's a little bit bigger, that second leg, which is why I prefer a lower high really, but we didn't get one. Well, not one that you could take. As we know, we have got space down here. So, got something larger yet. There may be room for a second leg. We are due 2 legs up. We are due 2 legs down. So I think could be a second leg down there. Yeah, some people had a decent bar. That guy had about the best one. Weren't nice there. We didn't get anything close. I do like the way it skips along that bottom there as well. There, touch, touch. See what happens when if it smashes through here. Break out, pull back from there, see what happens. See what happens when it touches here. Interesting. Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I've got one evaluation. I tend to do the evaluations later in the day. They take a bit longer, the evaluation, because you can only do 3 contracts. But if you do use one, you've got to really trade it. If you're scalping, you've got to really trade it on the NQ, because they want you to go for at least 5 points. You know, if you're scalping on the ES, it just doesn't work. But 2 points on the ES, equivalent to about 10 on the NQ. So if you do try one, you've really got to trade it on the NQ. I know a lot of you guys do anyway, so it might suit some of you, but not all of you. If you're strictly on the ES, I tend to would never go unless you obviously go for more points. I know a lot of you guys are sort of Pats or Penguin like me. Penguin a little more points, but still not quite enough on the ES for my funny futures. I was looking into fast track trading as well. I think they got a discount at the moment, 49% off. They did say apparently they never have 50% off again, but they did a 49% one, and you're straight into a live account. But I think it's about $200 odd for a 50k account, which that's with 49% discount, which is quite a lot. Now, if you've got skilled traders who are making a ton of money anyway, it's probably worthwhile picking up one. But if you guys are like me, sort of still trying to succeed, it might just be a little bit pricey. Just waiting to see how far this thing gets up as to whether we got another channel. fact, that video was the first time I've heard anything sight or sound of Daryl Martin. He's just been very quiet lately. I keep expecting this video about these new changes, these new rules that we're supposed to be getting. Mm. It's hard to know what's going on here. Whether this is going to continue on up, continue down or push on up. Inside bar anyway, you can't really take that. It says it's hard to know exactly what it's going to do there. Interesting. Trapping some shorts here. Possible failure, short failure. For another leg up. Tempting. Definitely going to have some shorts in there anyway, I'd have said so. But there is a possibility this thing could continue down. So in the NQ, we've got to push up, 2 attempts to go lower. Push up, 1, 2. It's not as clear, this. But if that finishes strong above there, it's hard to know at the moment. It's not very clear. Look at the breakout, pull back, but this thing to me looks like it's struggling. Every time it pushes up, it drops. Every time it pushes up, it dropped. It looks like it's struggling to get up. So I think this is likely going to come down some more. So interesting. I don't know if I want to fade that. One, the bar's massive and it ain't finished yet. Two, couple of times there we struggled to get up and it dropped quickly. So there still could be a lower something coming down. So it may trigger you, hit this and come down. I don't know what's going on at the moment, but it's a bit unclear. See what I mean? It pushed up and then just seemed to stem again. Look, so it's struggling to get up. So for me, it's more likely this market's going to continue down. We have got some space down to the lows or the overnight lows there. But it's just, there's nothing we can really do here at the moment. There is a failure there, but that's just way too far. So yeah, this thing's coming down. Once it gets below here, it'll come down likely to these lows here. Okay, this is just slow at the moment. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break while it's trying to figure out what it wants to do. So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okie dokie. Didn't miss much. Let's have a look. Possibly a second entry short on that NQ. Boom, boom, boom. It does look like it's working down still. Let's have a look. Are you still going to continue subscribing to Thomas Wade Discord? Have you found it useful? Well, to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to charge me again. When I messaged him first, and I inquired about it, and I said, I don't mind putting a little advert on here. So I asked him about it, and I got nothing back. So I subscribed and paid the 305, and then he messaged me saying, I was going to get back to you at the weekend. He said, I'm aware of your channel. He said, you know, I like the way you're always looking for ways of improving and all that. So I'd let you have free access to it. So he said I'd refund you. And I went, no, it's okay. It's fair enough. You know, I've paid it. Yeah. So he'll allow me a free access of it. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm moving more to penguin style, but if I see an absolute sitter, we don't see many of them at the moment, but if I see an absolute beauty, we get a perfect channel with a perfect second entry above the EMA, I'll be deaf not to take it. But they're going to be few and far between. We don't see a lot of absolute beauties, to be honest with you. Maybe 1 or 2 a week sometimes, maybe not even that. But if you're a patch trader, I think it's useful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I look at Thomas Wade's and sort of check it with mine, and to be honest with you, ours 9.5 times out of 10 are the same anyway. So if you just want it just for more confirmation, you don't need to pay and just look at my chart. My chart's the same. It's got some good traders in there. Well, what I consider good traders anyway. Marco's in there, although he doesn't post his charts, Marco. But Taylor does some top pick trading as well. But, they do take their fair share of losses. So I kind of like seeing the fact. That's what I like about Thomas Wade. He will show his losses. You see a lot of these sort of streamers that don't trade live, and they only kind of show you winners. People think, I suppose, it makes them less of a trader, but I actually think it's the opposite. I think if you show your losses, it makes you more genuine. It's hard to know what's going on here. Is this thing still coming down? I mean, we've had a break and a new low. We've come back and retested it, so maybe we're going to rock it up. But this, to me, just has a bearish feel about it. Mind you, we're not down at these overnight lows yet, so perhaps we're just going to bounce and push up. I don't know, but I know there's 1 or 2 in Thomas Wade's that took that one. First take profit is there at the bottom of that small part, so they're out there. Second target up here. I don't know what's going on at the moment. What I will say is we are from here sort of lower highs, so I think going long gear just at the moment isn't probably the best thing to do, because we're clearly making lower highs. I'm not saying it's not going to push up, but at the moment we can see we're clearly daisy chaining down. So, and we've got overnight lows here, which we could get down to. So, a long trade for me anyway wouldn't be. We have sort of made a new low from this again, and there is a higher low there, but it has pushed up a little bit. Thankfully, you'd have squeezed 2 points, but this to me looks like it may continue down for another leg. Who knows? There is a second entry short up here. It's not the greatest signal bar, but it's not terrible, and it is kind of confirming that. So 1 leg up, 2 legs up. So it's hard to know at the moment. This thing could just trap shorts and move up, but it's at this dicey area at the moment where we're close to these lows. So I don't know really. Who knows? Thinking any month that I lost, I need to go back to the drawing board and fix my strategy. Yeah, I missed a couple of your comments there. If a trader has a couple of months out a year, where he has negative count 10 months, I think that's still okay. Yeah, see, the penguin strategy is very, very similar to Pat's, very similar. Whereas Pat's, it's trying to find a Pat's entry, really, isn't it? So let me just show you a trade I took yesterday. And funnily enough, Mac marked it as a trade. That trade there. So from a penguin point of view, now penguin didn't trade yesterday, I didn't post it yesterday. We got churn up with a break and a new high. Clearly, let me just open them up a bit and you can see it a bit easier. We clearly got 1, 2 legs back and a bullish bar. So not only have you got 1, 2 triple tests, you've got clearly 2 legs back. You've trapped some shorts on that lower high. And it's a second entry long. So that's got everything going for it, in my opinion. But that is typically a penguin style trade. 2 legs back and a push above that EMA. Now, penguin may wait for this to push up and take a trade maybe up here and go for a bit more up here, but that to me is typical. But Mac marked it as well, so they're very similar. That really, if you think about it, is just 2 legs back. That's what a second entry is, 2 attempts to go in a certain direction that fails really. But 2 legs back, and it's also a second entry, so they're very similar. There's not a lot between them. And also on the other hand, sometimes he'll have a break, 2 attempts to push higher, and if that fails you'll take a short. So it is 2 legs, the typical 2 legs that we look for on a trade, but it's just slightly on a larger scale. So see, we got a leg down here with a break and a new low. 1 attempt to go higher, second attempt to go. If this thing fails and pushes below that EMA, that is the type of trade penguin will go for. So channel, break, new low. First attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. If this pushes below that EMA, I'd try and catch it on a limit order if it pushes down too low. So got 2 good 8 tick trades. First higher low, second entry long. Good on you, mate. Nice to do that. And did you try to back test? I haven't really back tested it, but I've been watching the trades and noting them, and you don't really need to back test them because they're really identical to Max. Really, it's just 2 legs, and I've been looking at legs for the last 3.5 years, so it's not something I would really back test. I've been watching Penguins trades for a few years on and off, so there are slightly more technical trades he does that even I find a little bit confusing, but I'm just sticking to the very basic stuff. Like that trade yesterday, that's about as simple as it gets really. 2 clear legs back, push up, break, new high, 2 legs, 2 attempts to push higher, and it failed and pushes up. So it's about as straightforward as it gets. It's about as clear to me as it gets, that does. It's still a little bit congested, but Mac will say if you can read it, it's tradable. Channel break, new high, 2 attempts to go lower, and it failed and pushed up. So you could have even taken that higher low if you want. That would have been a Pats type thing. And also 1, 2, 3, it's a triple test. Had that in his video too. Oh, that one there. Yes, he did. He did. Yeah, high probability trade. Purely because, see, he counts legs as well. We all count legs. But not only is that 2 legs, it's actually a second entry long. So there's so much going for that trade. I think it's also a triple test. So yeah, but they're very identical. They're very, very close. Pats, Max and Penguin, and that's how Penguin found it really. He just found too much small detail where he was getting trapped and stuff, and maybe a little bit too fast moving and slight lack of and if you listen to his video he did about 4 or 5 days ago, last week, sometime the latter part of last week, he talks about trying pats for a while and he just found it hard, so he come up with something very close but slightly on a bigger scale, a little bit easier and clearer to read, and you get a little bit more time to think. Most of Pat's trades, you'll make your 2 points or 6 ticks or whatever you do on that first push. Whereas a lot of the times with Penguin, you get a second crack of the whip. So 2 legs back. If you don't jump in there, you may wait till here and get in here. But you've obviously got to have enough room. So usually with Pats, we're out on that first push. But a lot of the times when you see Penguin's trades, he'll have a pullback before it continues up again. So if you miss that move, you can get in here on a limit order. So you have that little bit more time to think about it. It's not quite as, I would say Pats to me is trading on 2 times speed, which is pretty quick. And I'd say Penguin is more like 1 1/4 speed. So there's just that little bit more time to think. Trouble is that the more pressure you're under to make a decision, the more chance you've got of making a mistake. If you were taking a trade today and leaving it overnight, there'd be very little stress there. Work out where you're going to take your entry, put your stop and walk away from the chart. There's not a lot of stress there, but when you're trading max style, there's a lot of stress because it's very fast moving. You got to make a decision half the time in the last second. Whereas Penguin, you got that little bit more time to breathe. So we've had a break, 1 attempt to fade, one attempt to push down, second attempt, push above the EMA. So that might not have been a bad setup to go long, in all fairness. Break, 1 attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. I'm guessing somewhere about there. It'd be interesting to see if he took that. Trouble is he likes to get out before the top. He may consider that the top. So it's hard to say really whether he'd have got in there or whether he'd wait for it to go a bit higher. I'm guessing he'd want to get in as early as he can. But I do monitor these and make a mental note of where I think Penguin would take his trades, and a lot of the obvious ones I'm right. So I do understand how it works. But I do tend to go for very obvious ones. There are some that are a little bit more technical that I find a little bit too early. But it's the same with Pats. You start off with second entries. You don't get into failures until a little bit later down the line. They're a little bit more of an advanced trade. Same with triple tests. Maybe picking tops and bottoms. You start off with your bread and butter. And that's kind of what I do. But so we've got a channel down there with 2 attempts to go. So that might be an interesting setup that he may take. Maybe somewhere around about there, out before those lows. So I make a mental note of this, and I'll have a look later to see if he took that. But a lot of Pats traders took that with a better bar. So they're very similar. Entries are very similar. So that, I think, would be a good place to take a short there. See how quick it's gone. So we've got a channel with a break and new low. First attempt higher, second attempt higher, clearly fails. You'd expect that to push down to the bottom. You wouldn't have got in there. It moved that quick. So I'd say he may say he missed that one. I'd say that would be quite likely a setup that he would have taken. Now, whether he'd have got in there or not, a lot of the times he does mark them as missed or didn't fill or whatever. So I'd say that you could try and catch it on the limit order if it comes back far enough. Let's see if that does break below there. I think it likely will. Who is Penguin? Well, you see him in the zoo sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. He's just a trader who started off. Sorry about my bad joke. He started off trading Max. He's a very clever trader. If you listen to him, he rips these charts apart. He's very good. I'll show you. I'll get his YouTube channel. But he found it just a bit fast moving and come up with something very, very similar. He doesn't stream, unfortunately, but that's his YouTube channel there. But he does have losing trades, but not often. Let's have a look. Recently, he trades both there, so winning day, winning day, winning day. And look at the points he gets on the sometimes 13, nearly 14 points, 9 odd points. All winning days, all winning days. Occasionally he does have a losing day, but not many. He does have losing trades as well. He will mark them, but look at the points he's getting. But he's very clever trader. How he explains these things. So that clearly worked. So channel break, new low. First attempt to push higher. Second attempt to push higher, which clearly failed. But you wouldn't have got in there, I don't think, unless you were waiting for that, because that just pushed down and went. So if he'd have got in there, he'd have probably got in there on a limit order, or that's where he'd have probably looked to, and he'd have been out before the bottom. So that would have clearly worked for 22 ticks. So, in fact, would he have taken that one? Maybe. So I'm going to mark these actually and see, find out where he. I'm just going to leave these here, and I'll just see if he. I kind of try and work out where he'd have traded them, and then you'll know whether you're getting close. But I think that's an absolute beauty. 2 attempts to push out, and that thing fails. There's going to be stops there, and stops there. You can guarantee it. But yeah, look him up. There's like 4.5 points there. 5.5 points there. So even one trade, 5.5, you get one trade, 5.5 points. That's the equivalent of 2.5 trades to me normally trading patterns. Yeah, you've got a bit more risk, but as long as you wait for, real obvious ones, not only have you got 2 attempts to push high, you've got 2 legs up there, and you can see as that pushes down, it just eats them stops, and there as well. And here, if there was any here. Let's see if I got the emails. Sometimes he emails his charts down again. Uh, 307 was the last one. That's the first one. Oh shit! How long have I been talking for? I've just been rabbiting on. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. No, I was just basically saying about the pats. You don't get stuck in the detail when you go for this because you wait for two clear moves. So there, this thing looks like it's coming down. So second entry short there. Not great looking, but by the count is second entry. Now that may have got you 2 points, but it triggered, rushed up, stopped you out if you were holding to the bottoms, gave us two clear pushes up, rejection there, straight through that AMA. So two clear pushes, and that for me is going down. That's a penguin trade. Trap out any of the smaller stuff, and same there. You may have taken a trade there. Second entry, I mean, that bar wasn't crap, but I have seen a couple of other charts with a bar down to here. It may trigger you. Go sideways, rushes up, clears out any stops, and then rockets down. That's often how it works. It pushes up, takes out any liquidity, and then rushes down. And in the meantime, you stay out of all this detail and wait for two clear pushes up. Clears any liquidity, takes off the cobwebs, and then straight down. And exactly the same there. Two legs up. Any liquidity there left has been taken out and cleared, and then we're ready for that push down. So for me, it's a much better. I mean, look at that. That's working there beautifully. But I hadn't had that there at the time. Otherwise, I may have paid a bit more attention to the. I thought that was going up actually, but it did move really quick and it just rushed straight down below that EMA and then crossed over. It didn't give us a limit order, unfortunately. It just pushed down and that was it. Game over. So, two legs up, two legs down. There's a lot of support at this area, so when it makes that two legs, there's a lot of support along there. So when it makes that two legs, you can see it right the way along there. When it makes them two legs, I think it's likely then may move up, but I'm using trader panel. Basic. That's very good. Since you just click moving target, see if that's interesting. That's what it's called, basic VER, is it? Interesting. I'll take a quick screenshot of that or a quick photo of that. I'll have a look later. Yeah, that website, sorry, that Facebook group I created the other day, Prop Funded Trader. If you want to post, it's just Clay's just asking if he can post the charts there. Post whatever you want there. I've got no issues with it. I've just said to him, yeah, post whatever you want. Any charts, any pictures, post whatever you want. Just no naked pictures. Just send them direct to me via Messenger. No, put whatever you want in there. That is just to show any. The trouble is making videos I find really hard to try and let people know about the discounts and stuff. So it's just easy for me to post a picture there. But yeah, use that for whatever you want. Say whatever you want. Post whatever you want. Whatever you like. Charts, ideas. I was going to put. I went to do it last night, but couldn't figure out. I was going to. A few people asked me about these indicators. The one where it shows the price line at the end, and this as well, which shows the high. I was just going to, and that as well, the bar size indicator. I was going to post them on there as well. So if anybody wants to use them, and if you've got any indicators, absolutely post them on the on that Facebook group. That's a thought. I was going to take a photo of yours there, Jan. Post whatever you want on it. If you've got any beefs with any issues, I don't want it to be one of those websites, those Facebook groups that monitor what people say, because there's nothing more frustrating if you've got something on your mind and you've been a bit mistreated. I think you've got the right to say something without getting. It's not a dictatorship. This is it. We have that freedom of speech. So post whatever you want there, guys. So let's have a look. I would suggest if we get a failed breakout, and that fails, it'll push down to there. We have got a small one there, but not enough to get shorts in, I don't think. But I'll be surprised if this gets to the top. We're that close to yesterday's open and that measured leg. It's called Enhanced Chart Trader. Take a photo of that. I do love some of these indicators, and it's nice that they're free as well. Most of them, all the ones I've got that were free. I mean, people could charge them if they wanted, but it is nice to have them. I mean that chart was not chart decorator, the one that shows you the price at the end of the trade line. I love that. A lot of the time in the past, depending on what you were going to go for your points or whatever, you'd have to look right, wouldn't you, to count. But I do like that. They have a brilliant accounts manager too if you're using prop verbs. Okay, that's fine. These things are always worth a look. If it's worth paying for it, it's worth paying for it, for sure, yeah. Please talk about Penguin strategy. Please talk about it. I probably did actually, didn't I? But I had it on mute. Basically, just a quick rundown of it. I think I may have covered it. I don't know. But what he really looks for is 2 attempts to move in a certain direction. Now, as we know, market likes to move in sets of 2s. We see these legs all the time, 1 leg, 2 leg. It'll try something twice, and if it doesn't work, a lot of times it'll go in the opposite direction. So what he really looks for is we've got a channel down there with a break and a new low. So price tries twice to push higher. Tries once the first time, and the second time it tries to push higher. And in a lot of cases, if it's going to fail, it'll rush down below that EMA, taking out any longs that are going up. So, and a lot of times you'll get in on a trade there once it gets below that there. So 2 attempts that failed. That one was a much clearer one. You could say that was the first leg up, that was the second leg up, but there were 2 separate legs there. and that one failed monumentally. You can see it rush straight down. So the good thing is you can clearly see that probably had something to do with it. But 2 legs up and a strong push below that EMA, so that would be a good entry. Best thing to do, he explains it much better than I do, is just watch his videos. He makes about 3 a week, but if you go onto his YouTube channel, he's got hundreds on there, and have a look. It's very similar to Max. So if you've been trading Max on a 2000 tick chart, you're not going to find it difficult to do this. You're really not. And it's clear as well. A lot of the times, I don't know how many times I get caught up in this shit here going sideways. You know, it's 2 legs here, I see. If we had a bearish bar, you may go for it. And it might trigger you and then push up and push up and push up and push up. And then half the time, then it pushes up, takes out any stops and then rushes down. So instead of getting caught up in this detail here, 2 legs up, it clears all this and then rushes down. It's, you know, you're the last man standing there. Everyone else has been floored and you're left picking up the bacon and down it comes. Same there as well. You know, if you're taking something like this, or you're thinking low high, we're going to get a nice push down, or you know, second entry short, you're caught in that. It just clears a lot of the cobwebs and then down it comes. So it's not difficult. And I was chatting to Martin about it. He didn't say it took him long. Did it take him a few weeks, 6 weeks or a month or something to convert over properly? But I've been watching Penguin for a while because I like what he has to say. He clearly knows how to read these charts. There's no argument there. You know, I've been trading long enough now to spot someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. And he really does. He's a clever guy. He's obviously spent a lot of time. Some people just, you know, can pick these things up and can read these things really well. And he, in my opinion, he's one of them. And if anybody's particularly good at something, they're on my radar. You know, we've got to try and take what we can out of this life, haven't we? And if there's people out there that are good at something, you've got to sort of connect with them. I find, Pat, sometimes I get stuck in the detail, in the mess. I know I shouldn't, and I should wait. But the trouble is, there's no trade there for Pats. It's clearly 2 legs up, and we know a lot of times when we get 2 legs up, we get that push down. Sometimes we'll get a second entry, but there was nothing there. 2 legs up, you probably wouldn't take that, Pats. But that's a really good, in my opinion, Penguin trade. So we got 2 Penguin trades there and no Pats. That's not to say someone isn't going to take that as Pats, just purely because it's reacting to that. A lot of the times, Mac will mention those now, we'll have 2 legs up. It's not a second entry by the count. First entry, second entry. It's really just a first entry. But the fact that it reacts to that top of that channel and then just pushes down is a reasonable indication, I think, that there's sellers there, and they intend on pushing this down some more. I did try it a while ago, but all I was seeing is Pat's trades. But now you've got to give it a little bit of time and forget about this and just look for those bigger moves. I can't remember what I was doing there. Was I, did I nip to the bathroom there? I can't remember. But yeah, if that was a Pat setup and it goes over 2 points, which it did 2 3/4 points, the move's gone. You can't jump in there. But being a Penguin trader and getting out before the lows, you can catch it on the pullback. Okay, write down that measured move. Right to the tick. It still amazes me how accurate these things are. Now, how much lower could that go? 2 legs back. So 2 legs right at the bottom of this channel. This could pick up some buyers down here. I wouldn't be thinking of selling down here anyway, so let's see what happens. Little bullish bar there. What's that, a couple of points? Channel break. It's going to pick that stop up by the looks of things. Now, where are you going to go? Sorry, I missed your comment there. Definitely a PT setup. I think that's a great one. I got filled on the pullback, missed the second entry, unfortunately. Taking a break, it's always a way in it. Still working on this bottom. I'll be surprised if it goes any lower. There is liquidity down here, isn't there? Bullish bar and a higher low, so it could come down to there, I suppose. So yesterday's low. So if that takes out that liquidity, that then creates an overshoot. I expect a quick move up. Is it targeting this area? I think it is. Surely this is going to push up after this. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. So that's definitely an overshoot if I've ever seen one. I wasn't expecting that. What's that? 5, 10, 15 points. Is there a reason this is dropping? What's happening in crypto? I have heard people say we could be in line for a crash. Is this the start of it? Surely not. So it's broken yesterday's high and Monday's high. What's the day today? Thursday, isn't it? Wednesday's and Tuesday's high lows. Surely it's designed for a pullback now, surely. So channel break, new low. Surely this has got to push up now. So that wasn't a bad trade, was it? If you took that, you'd have got a decent runner there. Is this thing going to continue? Speaks on Friday. Maybe. Anybody know what date you have the next meeting about possible rate cuts? I know it's September. Someone. Anybody know what date it is? hopefully that might give crypto a kick up the backside, because it's been going sideways for, well, best part of 3 weeks now, I'd say. Maybe a little bit more. Well, 90 days, I'd say. Between sort of about 68, 70,000 and 50,000, 55,000. I wish it'd do something. Tell a lie, it's been going sideways since about February. We had 74,000, wasn't it, back in the end of February, and it's just been going sideways. Every time we drop, I try and buy a little bit more. So, channel break, new low. Let's try that there again. So, channel, something else steeper. That is steep, that is. Yeah, I'm off tomorrow anyway. No training for me. I've got a day out with the family tomorrow. We had to have some sort of pullback, didn't we? We looked earlier on the daily. The daily's just been going crazy. What's the daily? Is that it? Yeah. We've had such a lot of buying, it just hasn't even seemed to have had a pullback. Come on, wakey, wakey. Yeah, but we had to have a pullback. I mean, look at that. That's just been going up and up and up. So from here, yeah, we've just pushed up 450 points without really any type of a break or a pullback. That's a fair old move, that. We had to have some, didn't we? We looked earlier, didn't we, and it was sideways. I said I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some coming down. I mean, that's a strong move, isn't it? We ain't going to get to there within a foul swoop without at least having... and if we can get that pullback to here, this could come down quite a bit more, in all fairness. So sometimes when you think this thing can't come down anymore, it's only really a baby move, that, isn't it? That's like 1 bar for a day. It looks a lot, doesn't it? It probably looks a little bit more because the angle it's come down at. It's probably not as much as it looks. No, it's only 62 points. It's not huge. So, see if we can get a couple of legs up here. So, channel break, new low. Let's see if we can make 2 attempts to push higher, and if not, we may fade that one. There is a possible second entry shot, but I don't like it. I'd rather wait for legs. And it keeps me out of stuff like that. I mean, it may work, but it doesn't interest me. Especially off a little break, tiny break like that, and then a drop. I wouldn't have thought so. I'd rather have a leg and a leg. $56. Taylor's just put that on there. Literally just now. Exactly how I've got it, so it gives me some comfort anyway. So leg.
Order submitted.
Let's get an order ready just in case. That might be a little bit better as a spike and channel. Touch. Okay, leg and a leg. See what reaction we get here. Channel down there, leg and a leg. Let's see if this pushes below there, below the EMA. That's only really off a tick of being relatively bearish. That hasn't pushed down strong enough for me just at the moment. I prefer it to go a little bit further and then have a little pullback maybe.
Order cancelled.
Leg a leg. What we don't want is a leg and then up. So, see if we kiss goodbye to that leg and leg. It's a tick off being bear. It kind of is bearish, although it's doji. But it's just a bit risky that. It's okay back to the EMA, I think. But after this possible overshoot, there may be a bigger channel there. Possible overshoot, you'd expect at least a bit of a pullback. See if it gets above there. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. That's more like a channel, I think, now. No setup there anyway. So I'm going to bin that, I think, for now. I think this is more of an overshoot, and we're getting that pullback, I think. Is there a larger channel there? Maybe a two-tiered channel. It's always possible. It's kind of working. I think Thomas Wade is... Yeah, he has. He's looking at that. I don't know how I feel about that. It's probably best just for now. Oh. Yeah, excuse me. It's exactly what Dakota has been looking at all week for the NQ. Who's Dakota? Not sure who Dakota is, bud. The only Dakota I know is Dakota Johnson. Or my future wife, as I like to refer to her. This is slow, isn't it? Slow. I've been going for crikey, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Day's gone quick. So there was 2 setups there. That one moved that quick. It was going up and all of a sudden it just turned, so I wasn't looking at that at the time. I don't know whether I was I got in the bathroom there, I can't remember, but that just dropped quickly. But there you go. But there was 2. Channel break new low. 2 attempts to go higher, which fell below that EMA, and then a strong push down. Same again there. So 2 legs up. Strong push below the EMA. Rejected off the top of that channel. Nice and clear that was actually. I hadn't got that larger channel at the time. If I had seen that larger channel, I may have just had a go at that one just for the hell of it. Clearly 2 legs up and the push down anyway. What was that risk? Oh, got it there on 22 ticks. Like 5 1/4. So that's not too bad on one contract, which I'm trading now. Plenty of room to get out the lows. God, it's just so slow, isn't it now? Okay, I reckon I'm done for today, folks. I've been going for 2 3/4 hours now. It's just getting slow and boring. But not a bad day. I haven't got any trades, but I am focusing nice in on these, and I am spotting these. That one was a little bit too late, unfortunately. That one, I can't remember whether I was at the bathroom or not. But you can clearly see him, leg break, new low, 2 attempts to go higher, strong push to that EMA and then down, same again there, 2 legs up, reaction off the top, push to that EMA, good indication that's going down. There's going to be stops there and there. By the time those stops have been taken out, I'm out of the trade there, so that would have worked nice, but you know, a little bit more risk, but it's more clear. So there's what, about 5.5 points there. So that's the equivalent of 2.5 trades normally for me, over 2.5 trades. So if I can get 2 of them a week, what's that? $275. All right, 220, 5.5 points, isn't it? 500 points. Yeah, 5.5 points. 262.50, I think. See, 2 of those a week after fees, that's over $500. If I can get to $500 on one account trading one contract, that's over $2,000 a month. So just for 2 really nice trades, clear trades, not a lot. And I find these much easier to spot rather than looking for trades in there. I know we shouldn't, but you kind of do, don't you? And sometimes you talk yourself into seeing things when it's quiet. But you're not going to see 2 pullbacks in a little range like that, 2 clear legs. But there you can, one pushing up to it, the other pushing through it. There you go. So I'm done for the day, folks. Getting really quiet and boring now. So if you're carrying on trading, good luck. I hope you get a setup. But yeah, Facebook group, if you want to put any charts on there and have a chit chat about your day, whatever you want to do, anytime, feel free. So have a great evening. Stay safe. Remember, no trading tomorrow. I'm away with the family for the day. So until Monday, no trading for me. So good day tomorrow. Best of luck. Always nice to get green on a Friday. And then I'll be back on Monday and we'll do it all again. So stay safe. Have a good one. And I'll see you all on Monday. Bye for now.